Well, 7 o'clock spot is supposed to be informational, and supposed to be educational, and so forth, and shows which produce some kind of knowledge to people, and you can do that in a very dramatic way. I was betrayed. A betrayal so deep that even as I lie down, I still feel like someone has driven a knife into my back. This chilling statement was heard faintly in an enigmatic music interview tape belonging to Lorne Greene, the man forever associated with the calm and kind demeanor of classic Hollywood. The tape, which only surfaced online for a few hours before vanishing completely, was enough to silence the audience. In front of the camera, Greene was no longer the beloved father figure music from Bonanza, but a man harboring a lifetime of pent-up bitterness, ready to name those who had pushed him into his darkest days. In the tape, Greene spoke with a strained voice, revealing that people who once saw him as a colleague, a friend, or even family were the very ones who turned out to be the most ruthless. Some had sabotaged the most important role of his life just as he was about to reach his peak. Others, music, used his name to spread malicious rumors, nearly dragging him into a scandal that could have destroyed his reputation overnight. Worse still, some he had once protected and helped had stabbed him in the back just to drain his pockets. So, music, who were these people? In this video, we will revisit the names Greene hated most until the very end of his life. And you'll see a side of Lorne Greene the audience never knew. John Wayne. When the movie icon sparked a conflict Lorne Greene would never forget. The tension between Lorne Greene and John Wayne began in an unexpected way. There were no heated arguments, no glaring stares on set, no subtle jabs from either side. What sparked it all was the shift in Hollywood during the late 1960s. Traditional cinema, where John Wayne had dominated since Stagecoach in 1939, was slowly making way for a new wave of entertainment, television. Bonanza, starring Lorne Greene, became the flagship of this shift, attracting tens of millions of viewers each week, surpassing many box office films in popularity. Two worlds, two different working styles, and two opposing influences inadvertently pulled Greene and Wayne into a debate they hadn't started. The crisis erupted on April 14, 1966. At the Beverly Hills Hotel, John Wayne appeared at a press conference to promote El Dorado. The press room was packed with reporters from Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, and Los Angeles Herald-Examiner. A reporter from Herald-Examiner asked a seemingly innocuous question, whether the boom of TV music, westerns would diminish the value of film westerns. Wayne without hesitation replied into the microphone that TV westerns were diluting the original power of the western. The media quickly spun his answer, making it an attack on Bonanza. Within hours, Wayne's remarks were plastered across newspapers from the San Francisco Chronicle to the Denver Post. For Greene, who read the article first thing on the morning of April 17, 1966 in his dressing room at Paramount Stage 10, the feeling was not anger, but suffocation. He didn't want to be dragged into the film versus TV battle, and certainly didn't want to be pitted against an icon like Wayne. His Bonanza co-star Dan Blocker recalled that Greene slammed the paper down on the table so hard that a makeup bottle fell to the floor. It wasn't because he was angry at Wayne, but because Wayne had unintentionally created a media storm that fell upon Greene within a single night. By April 20th, NBC had recorded over 200 letters requesting Greene stand up for television. The Bonanza crew had to hold an internal meeting just to figure out how to handle the press. Greene, who valued composure, felt his reputation was being dragged into a debate he hadn't even spoken a word in. The tension didn't subside. In August 1967, Chicago Tribune published a shocking article titled Greene and Wayne Face Off in Palm Springs. The article described the two being seen at the Palm Springs Convention Center during a city fundraising event, standing near each other in an atmosphere as tense as a taut string. There were no photos, but just the hint of it was enough for rumors to spread across local news outlets like KTLA 5 News and KC Sacramento. Bonanza was thrown into chaos, forcing director Leon Benson to call an urgent meeting to calm the cast. Greene was not angry at Wayne. He was angry at how the media turned silence into conflict, turning two men who had no animosity into symbols of opposing forces. This frustration simmered for years, reaching its peak in February 1971 when Playboy published a lengthy interview with John Wayne. While the content didn't mention Greene or Bonanza, Papers like New York Magazine and Chicago Sun-Times deliberately created a contrast. Wayne was strong. Greene was calm. Wayne represented the Wild West. Greene represented the beautified Western on TV. The media blew this confrontation out of proportion to the point where in a March 12, 1971 NBC meeting, Greene had to ask his assistant to filter out any article with Wayne's name so he wouldn't be dragged into this ongoing hassle. Behind that frustration, however, was a deeper layer few knew about. Greene had been a wartime radio announcer for CBC during World War II. He read daily casualty reports, haunted by the responsibility of delivering heartbreaking news to millions of Canadian families. This experience made him respect those who truly served in the military. So when the press hailed Wayne as the symbol of warrior spirit, despite Wayne not serving in World War II, Greene felt something was off. He had never criticized Wayne, but those close to him said Greene occasionally showed discomfort when the media continued to emphasize Wayne's role as America's hero without acknowledging this fact. Although this opposition never turned into direct conflict, it made Greene wary every time Wayne's name was mentioned. For Greene, Wayne was not an enemy, but a source of long-standing annoyance enough to make Greene keep his distance. He felt that whether intentionally or not, Wayne always managed to drag his name into stories Greene wanted nothing to do with. As the media pressure grew, Greene began to realize that this phase in Hollywood wasn't just about the battle between film and television, but about a generational shift. What surprised him was that soon after a new wave of competition from Europe began to flood into the U.S. with the arrival of a young actor from Italy who helped create a new kind of cowboy style, one that Greene would find even more intimidating than the clamor Wayne had left behind. Chapter 2. Clint Eastwood, the man who made Greene feel pushed out of his own era. The tension in Lorne Greene's heart had been brewing since the early summer of 1966. A time when no one on the Bonanza team was prepared. On July 1st, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly premiered at the Criterion Theater in New York. In just over 10 days, the box office report from United Artists showed the film was quickly rising to the top nationally. This didn't confuse Greene, but what truly struck him was an article in Time magazine on July 23rd. The magazine devoted 4 pages to Clint Eastwood, calling him the man who brought the spirit of the Wild West into the new era. The article's closing sentence left Greene stunned. This is the type of cowboy who survives not on moral ideals, but on sheer survival instincts.